Dr. Amanda Clark sat at her desk in the NORAD Deep Space Monitoring Station, drinking her morning coffee. It was a Tuesday morning like any other. She had been working there for 8 years, watching the stars and tracking space debris. Most days were quiet and boring. Then her computer started beeping. Amanda looked at her screen and nearly dropped her coffee cup. Hundreds of red dots were appearing on the display. They were big, really big, and they were moving toward Earth. What the hell? She whispered. She checked her instruments again. The readings were impossible. These objects were massive, each one bigger than any space station humans had ever built. They were coming from deep space, moving faster than anything she had ever seen. Amanda picked up her phone and called her supervisor. "Sir, you need to get down here right now. We have a problem." Within minutes, General Peter Collins was standing behind her chair, staring at the screen. His face went pale as he watched the dots get closer to Earth. "How many are there?" he asked. Amanda counted quickly. "At least 300, sir. Maybe more. They're huge." General Collins grabbed the red phone on Amanda's desk. This was the direct line to the President. "Mr. President, we have an emergency situation. Unknown objects are approaching Earth." "Yes, sir. Multiple objects. Very large." "No, sir. They're not meteors." While the general talked to the President, Amanda watched the objects slow down as they reached Earth's orbit. They stopped just beyond the moon, hanging in space like dark clouds. Her instruments showed they were made of some kind of metal that didn't reflect light normally. The ships seemed to eat the light around them. "Ships," she said out loud. "They're definitely ships." General Collins finished his call and looked at her. "How long until the President's science team gets here?" 20 minutes, sir." "Good. Keep tracking them. Don't take your eyes off those things." News of the alien ships spread quickly. Within 2 hours, every news station in the world was talking about them. People stopped working and stared at their phones and computers. The stock market crashed as people panicked. President Daniel Hayes spoke to the nation from the White House. Amanda watched him on the small TV in her office. He looked calm, but she could see worry in his eyes. "My fellow Americans," the President said, "we are aware of the objects in space near our planet. We are studying them with our best scientists. I ask everyone to stay calm and continue with your daily lives. Our military is ready to protect us if needed." But Amanda knew the truth. Earth's weapons were like throwing rocks at a battleship. If these aliens wanted to hurt Earth, there was nothing humans could do to stop them. Dr. Lisa Morgan arrived from NASA with a team of scientists. She was a small woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She looked at Amanda's data and shook her head. "This is incredible," Dr. Morgan said. "Look at the energy readings. These ships are more advanced than anything we can imagine." "Are they talking to us?" General Collins asked. Dr. Morgan checked her equipment. "We've tried every frequency we know. Radio, microwaves, even light signals. Nothing. They're completely silent." Amanda pointed to her screen. "But look at this. They're scanning us." The alien ships were sending out beams of energy toward Earth. The beams were invisible to the human eye, but Amanda's instruments could detect them. The aliens were looking at everything: cities, military bases, farms, forests. They were mapping the entire planet. "What do they want?" General Collins asked. Nobody had an answer. Captain Jake Sullivan was preparing his spacecraft, the USS Constitution, at the orbital station above Earth. It was humanity's newest and most advanced ship, but compared to the alien vessels, it looked like a toy boat next to an aircraft carrier. "Sir," his radio crackled, "orders from Earth. Prepare for possible first contact mission." Jake looked out his window at the alien ships. They were beautiful in a terrifying way. Dark and smooth, with no visible windows or weapons. They just hung there in perfect formation, like they were waiting for something. Copy that. Control. Constitution is ready. But Jake knew it was a suicide mission. If those aliens wanted to destroy Earth, his little ship wouldn't even slow them down. On Earth, people gathered in streets and on rooftops, looking up at the sky. Some prayed, some cried, some took pictures with their phones. Children asked their parents if the aliens were friendly. Parents didn't know what to say. Dr. Kevin Roberts was a language expert at MIT. He was trying to find a way to talk to the aliens. He sent mathematical signals into space, simple numbers, equations, patterns that any intelligent species should understand. The aliens didn't respond. Maybe they don't want to talk, Dr. Roberts told his team. Maybe they're just watching. Commander. Helen Parker was on the International Space Station, using telescopes to study the alien ships. She could see them clearly now, hundreds of massive vessels in perfect formation. They didn't move. They didn't make any sound. They just watched Earth like silent guardians. Control, this is ISS. Helen radioed to Earth. The ships are beautiful and terrifying. I can see details on their hulls now. Strange patterns, like writing or symbols. But nothing that looks like weapons. Any sign of movement, Commander? Negative? They're completely still, like they're sleeping. As the first day ended, the alien ships remained in their positions. Earth's military forces stayed on high alert. Scientists worked through the night, trying to understand what the visitors wanted. Amanda Clark stayed at her post, watching the screens. The coffee had gone cold hours ago, but she didn't notice. She was watching the most important moment in human history. The aliens had found Earth. Now everyone was waiting to see what would happen next. The whole world held its breath. 3 days passed, and the alien ships still hung in space above Earth. They didn't move forward. They didn't move back. They just stayed there, watching. Amanda Clark had barely slept since the ships arrived. She lived on coffee and energy bars, watching her screens every minute. The alien vessels continued their scanning, sending invisible beams across every part of Earth. They're mapping everything, she told Dr. Morgan. Every city, every building, every road. It's like they're making a perfect picture of our whole planet. Dr. Morgan nodded. She looked tired too. But why? What are they looking for? Around the world, normal life had stopped. Schools closed. Offices shut down. People stayed home with their families, watching the news and waiting. Some people prayed. Others prepared for the worst. Many just sat on their roofs, staring at the sky. Stock market had crashed completely. Nobody cared about money anymore. What was the point of buying and selling when aliens might destroy everything? Commander Helen Parker floated in the International Space Station, looking out at the alien fleet through her telescope. The ships were so large that she could see details on their surfaces. Strange lines and patterns covered their dark hulls like writing in an unknown language. Control, the ships are definitely scanning us, Helen reported to Earth. I can see the beams when they pass near the station. They're very precise, almost surgical. Any change in their formation, Commander? Came the voice from Mission Control. Negative. They haven't moved a single meter in 3 days. It's like they're machines, just following a program. On Earth, Dr. Kevin Roberts was getting frustrated. He had tried everything to talk to the aliens. Math, music, pictures, light signals. He even had NASA send radio waves in every language. On Earth, the aliens ignored everything. Maybe they think we're too primitive to talk to, he told his assistant. Like we're ants to them. Or maybe they're not here to talk, she replied. Maybe they're here for something else. At the Pentagon, General Collins was meeting with military leaders from around the world. The room was full of worried faces and tired voices. "What's our plan if they attack?" asked the British general. Collins looked at the papers on his table. Every weapon Earth had was listed there. Nuclear missiles, fighter jets, submarines, soldiers. It all seemed like nothing compared to the alien fleet. "We fight," he said simply. "We can't win, but we fight anyway. That's what humans do." Colonel Maria Santos was coordinating with armies around the world. Every country had put their weapons on high alert. Nuclear submarines had surfaced in every ocean. Missile silos were ready to fire. It wouldn't stop the aliens, but it was all humans could do. "Sir," an aide handed her a report. "Civilian populations are starting to panic. Some cities are seeing riots. People are afraid," Maria sighed. "Tell the police to do their best. Keep people calm. We need to stay together if we want to survive." President Hayes was in the Situation Room under the White House, surrounded by advisors and generals. He hadn't left the room in 2 days. Coffee cups and food containers covered the table. "Any word from our allies?" he asked. "Russia and China are cooperating fully," his advisor replied. "Everyone knows this is bigger than politics. If the aliens are hostile, we need to work together. And if they're not hostile, then we need to work together anyway, sir." Dr. Lisa Morgan was working with scientists from every major country. They had set up a command center at NASA, sharing information and theories. The best minds on Earth were trying to figure out what the aliens wanted. "Look at this pattern," she showed the group. The scanning beams from the alien ships followed a specific sequence. They scan our cities first, then our military bases, then our schools and hospitals. It's like they're studying our society. Maybe they want to understand US before they make contact, suggested a Japanese scientist. "Or maybe they want to understand us before they attack," said another dock captain. Jake Sullivan was still waiting in his ship, the USS Constitution. His crew was ready for whatever mission command gave them. They knew it would probably be their last mission, but they were prepared. "Captain," his communications officer called, "I'm picking up something strange." Jake hurried to look at the display. "What is it?" "The alien ships are starting to hum, sir. Very low frequency, almost below human hearing." Jake felt it more than heard it. A deep vibration that seemed to come from everywhere at once. It made his teeth ache and his stomach feel sick. On Earth, animals started acting strange. Dogs howled for no reason. Birds flew in circles. Horses refused to move. Even fish in aquariums swam in worried patterns. The humming got stronger as the third day turned into night. Electronic devices flickered. Radio signals became fuzzy. Some satellites stopped working properly. Amanda watched her instruments go crazy. The readings jumped and changed as the alien hum interfered with Earth's technology. "Dr. Morgan," she called. "You need to see this." Dr. Morgan rushed over. The energy readings from the alien ships were changing. After 3 days of steady scanning, something was different. "Are they powering up weapons?" Amanda asked. "I don't know. The energy patterns are unlike anything we've seen." Around the world, people felt the humming in their bones. It was uncomfortable but not painful, like standing too close to a large machine. Children cried. Adults held each other tight. Religious leaders tried to calm their people. Some said the aliens were angels. Others said they were demons. Most admitted they didn't know what was happening. Scientists worked through the night, trying to understand the new signals. The alien ships were definitely doing something different. But what? Commander Helen Parker reported from the space station. "Control, the ships are glowing now. Very faint, but I can see it. They're beautiful and terrifying at the same time." President Hayes addressed the nation again. This time he looked more worried. "My fellow Americans, we are monitoring the situation carefully. The objects in space have begun emitting new signals. Our scientists are studying these signals. Please remain calm and stay with your families." But Amanda Clark was not calm. She stared at her screens as the alien ships continued their strange humming. The sound was getting into her head, making it hard to think clearly. "Something's changing," she told General Collins. "Whatever they came here to do, I think they're getting ready to do it." General Collins nodded grimly. "Alert all forces. Tell them to be ready for anything." As the third night ended and the fourth day began, the alien humming reached its peak. Every person on Earth could feel it now. Electronics failed across the planet. The internet went down in many places. And then, just as suddenly as it had started, the humming stopped. The alien ships hung silent in space once again. But now they seemed different somehow, like they had finished an important task. Amanda checked her instruments. The ships were still there, still scanning Earth, but something had changed. She could feel it in her bones. "What did they just do to us?" she whispered. Amanda Clark was eating a sandwich at her desk when the impossible happened. She looked up at her screen and saw one of the alien ships becoming transparent. At first, she thought something was wrong with her equipment. "Dr. Morgan," she called. "Are you seeing this?" Dr. Morgan rushed over and stared at the display. One of the massive alien vessels was fading like a ghost. Its solid outline became fuzzy and dim. "Check the instruments," Dr. Morgan said quickly. "What are the energy readings?" Amanda's fingers flew over her keyboard. "The energy signature is dropping. Fast. It's like the ship is just disappearing." Within an hour, more ships began to fade. The ones on the outside of the formation went. First, becoming see-through and then vanishing completely. Amanda watched her screen in amazement as the red dots marking alien ships started disappearing one by one. "This is impossible," she whispered. "Where are they going?" Commander Helen Parker was watching from the space station with her telescope. She had the best view of anyone as the alien fleet began to vanish. "Control, this is ISS," she radioed. "To Earth. The ships are definitely disappearing. I can see stars through them now. It's like they're made of smoke that's blowing away. Commander, are you seeing any energy discharge? Any sign of where they're going?" "Negative. Control. They're just fading out. No flash, no movement, no warp signatures. They're just gone." On Earth, people gathered in the streets to watch the sky. In some places, the alien ships had been visible as dark spots against the stars. Now those spots were getting lighter, and lighter until they disappeared completely. Dr. Kevin Roberts was at his computer, trying to record everything. His instruments showed the alien energy signatures dropping to zero, but there was no explanation for how or why. "They're not flying away," he told his team. "They're not exploding. They're not going into hyperspace or whatever. They're just stopping existing." General Collins was in the command center, watching reports come in from around the world. Every radar station, every telescope, every satellite was tracking the vanishing fleet. "Sir?" An aide handed him a report. "The Japanese report all ships in their sector are gone. The Europeans say the same thing. The ships are disappearing everywhere at once." Collins grabbed the phone to call President Hayes. "Mr. President, the alien ships are vanishing. All of them. We don't know how or why, but they're disappearing from our sensors." President Hayes was in the Situation Room, surrounded by advisors who looked as confused as he felt. "Are they retreating? Did we scare them off somehow?" "No, sir. They're not moving away. They're just not there anymore." The president looked around the room. "Ideas, anyone?" Nobody had answers. Captain Jake Sullivan was still in his ship, watching the alien fleet fade away through his window. His instruments showed empty space, where moments before there had been hundreds of massive vessels. Control, this is Constitution. The ships are gone. All of them. Space is clear. Copy that, Constitution. Return to base. Mission scrubbed. Jake felt relief and disappointment at the same time. Relief that Earth wasn't about to be invaded. Disappointment that humanity's first contact with aliens was over before it really began. Within 6 hours, every alien ship had vanished completely. Amanda's screens showed nothing but empty space and distant stars. It was like the fleet had never been there. At all. Run a full diagnostic on all systems, Dr. Morgan ordered. Check everything twice. I want to make sure this isn't just equipment failure. Amanda ran every test she could think of. The equipment was working perfectly. The ships really were gone. Around the world, people reacted in different ways. Some cheered and celebrated, thinking Earth had been saved. Others worried that this was just the beginning, that the aliens would come back with more ships. Religious leaders struggled to explain what had happened. Some said it was a miracle. Others said it was a test from God. A few admitted they had no idea what it meant. President Hayes called an emergency meeting with world leaders. The video conference included presidents, prime ministers, and generals from every major country on Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Hayes began, we all saw the same thing. The alien fleet has vanished without explanation. We need to decide how to respond. The Russian president spoke first. Perhaps they were scouts. They studied us and returned to their home to plan an invasion. Or maybe they decided we weren't worth bothering with, said the Chinese premier. We need to prepare for their return, added the British Prime Minister. This might be our only chance to get ready. But Dr. Lisa Morgan was discovering something strange in her data. The aliens had left behind almost no trace of their visit. No debris floating in space. No energy residue. No proof they had ever been there except for thousands of hours of recorded video and instrument readings. It's like they were never really here, she told her team. How do you make something that big just disappear? Colonel Maria Santos was trying to decide whether to keep the world's military forces on high alert. The aliens were gone, but for how long? What if they come back tomorrow? She asked General Collins. What if this was just a test to see how we'd react? Then we'll face them again, Collins replied. But for now, we need to figure out what just happened. Dr. Roberts was analyzing every piece of data from the alien visit. The scanning patterns, the energy signatures, the timing of their disappearance. He was looking for clues about what the aliens had wanted. They weren't random, he told his assistant. Everything they did was planned. The way they positioned. Their ships, the areas they scanned, even the timing of their vanishing. It was all deliberate. But what were they looking for? That's what we need to figure out. Amanda stayed at her post even though the aliens were gone. She kept scanning space, looking for any sign that they might return. Her coffee had gone. Cold again, but she didn't notice. The world slowly began to return to normal, but nothing felt the same. Everyone knew that humans were not alone in the universe. Somewhere out there, advanced alien civilizations existed. The question was whether they would come back. News reporters struggled to explain what had happened. How do you report on something that defies all understanding? The alien ships had been real. Hundreds of people had seen them. Instruments had tracked them. But now they were gone without a trace. Some people claimed it had all been a hoax. A trick by governments to distract people from other problems. But too many people had seen the ships with their own eyes. Children asked their parents when the aliens would come back. Parents didn't know what to say. Nobody knew if the aliens were friendly or dangerous, if they would return tomorrow or never come back at all. As the first week after the vanishing ended, Amanda was still watching her screens. The space around Earth was empty and quiet. But she couldn't shake the feeling that the aliens had accomplished exactly what they came to do. "Dr. Morgan," she said, "what if they didn't leave because they were scared or bored? What if they left because they finished their mission?" Dr. Morgan looked up from her papers. "What kind of mission?" "I don't know. But they scanned everything on Earth. Every city, every building, every person. Maybe they got what they came for." The thought was both comforting and terrifying. If the aliens had completed their mission, maybe they wouldn't come back. But what had that mission been? And what would they do with the information they had gathered? Amanda sipped her cold coffee and kept watching the stars, knowing that humanity's relationship with the universe had changed forever. 2 weeks had passed since the alien ships vanished, and Amanda Clark couldn't stop thinking about them. She had been moved to a new job, leading an international team of scientists trying to understand what had happened. The team worked in a special building at NASA with the best computers and equipment Earth had to offer. Every day, they studied the data from the alien visit. Every scan, every energy reading, every piece of video was examined again and again. But the aliens had left behind very few clues. "Look at this pattern," Amanda showed her team. She pointed to a map on the wall that showed where the alien ships had focused their scanning beams. They weren't random. They scanned our biggest cities first, then our military bases, then our universities and libraries. Dr. Patricia Lee was a quantum physics expert from Stanford. She had joined the team because she understood energy better than almost anyone on Earth. She studied the alien energy signatures for hours every day. "The way they disappeared doesn't make sense," Patricia sighed. "Energy can't just vanish. It has to go somewhere." But these ships just stopped existing. Lieutenant Colonel Chris Anderson was an intelligence officer who specialized in finding patterns. He had spent years looking at enemy codes and hidden messages. Now he was trying to decode alien behavior. "I think they were studying our culture," Chris said. "Look where they scanned the longest: museums, art galleries, concert halls, sports stadiums. Places where humans gather and create things." Dr. Nancy White was an anthropologist who studied how human societies developed. She had been brought in to help understand what the aliens might have been looking for. "This isn't the first time," Nancy said quietly. Everyone in the room turned to look at her. "I've been researching historical records. Similar sightings have happened throughout human history." She put up pictures on the screen. Ancient cave paintings showing objects in the sky. Old books describing flying vessels. Historical accounts of mysterious lights during important moments in human development. Every time humans made a big step forward, there were reports of strange objects in the sky, Nancy continued. "When we invented writing, when we built the first cities, when we discovered electricity, when we split the atom, when we went to space, every major advancement." Amanda felt a chill run down her spine. "You're saying they've been watching us for thousands of years?" "I'm saying the evidence suggests it. We just never put it together before because we didn't know what to look for." Dr. Lisa Morgan joined the team via video call from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. She had been working on a different part of the puzzle, the quantum effects the alien ships had left behind. "I found something," Lisa said. "The alien ships did leave traces, but not the kind we expected. They left changes in the quantum field around Earth. Tiny changes that we almost missed." "What kind of changes?" Amanda asked. "It's like they left a message hidden in the fabric of space itself. But it's written in mathematics so advanced that we're just beginning to understand it." The team worked for days trying to decode what Lisa had found. The message was hidden in quantum fluctuations, invisible to normal instruments, but detectable by the most sensitive equipment on EARTH. Dr. Kevin Roberts had joined the team as their language expert. He had spent weeks trying to find patterns in the alien data that might be communication. "I think I found something," Kevin said one morning. He looked tired but excited. "The quantum message isn't random. It follows mathematical rules, like a language." He showed them equations on the whiteboard, complex formulas that hurt Amanda's head just looking at them. But Kevin was smiling for the first time since the aliens had arrived. "What does it say?" Patricia asked. "I'm not sure yet, but it's definitely a message. And I think it's meant for us." Captain Jake Sullivan had returned to Earth and joined the investigation. His experience as a pilot gave him a different perspective on the alien ship's behavior. "They flew like they knew exactly where they were going," Jake said. "Perfect formation, precise movements, no hesitation. These weren't explorers stumbling onto Earth by accident. They came here on purpose." "But why?" Amanda asked. "What did they want?" "Maybe they wanted to see how we'd react," suggested Chris. "Anderson, think about it. A massive alien fleet appears in our orbit. Do we panic? Do we attack? Do we try to communicate?" "Maybe our reaction was the test," Dr. Nancy White nodded. "That would fit with the historical pattern. They show up during important moments to see how we handle new situations." Over the next few days, Kevin made more progress decoding the quantum message. Working with Patricia and Lisa, he began to understand what the aliens had left behind. "It's not just a message," he announced to the team. "It's like a report card." "A what?" Amanda asked. "The aliens were grading us, measuring how advanced we are, not just technologically but socially. How we work together, how we handle fear, how we treat each other during a crisis." Kevin put up charts on the screen showing his analysis. "They measured our military response, but not to see if we could fight them. They wanted to see if we would fight each other. They measured our scientific response, not to steal our technology, but to see if we could work together to understand them." "And?" Amanda asked. "Did we pass?" Kevin smiled. "I think we did. Look at what happened during those 3 days. Every country on Earth cooperated. Scientists shared information freely. Military forces worked together instead of fighting each other. World leaders talked instead of declaring war. So they were testing us? I think so. And I think we passed their test." Dr. Patricia Lee had been quietly working on another part of the message. She looked up from her computer with wide eyes. "There's more," she said. "The message includes coordinates, star charts, and ... blueprints." "Blueprints for what?" Amanda asked. "Improvements to our spacecraft. Instructions for making our ships capable of interstellar travel." The room went silent. Everyone stared at Patricia's screen, where alien technical drawings were slowly appearing as the quantum message was decoded. "They want us to come to them," Jake said quietly. "They're showing us how to build ships that can reach the stars." "But why would they do that?" Amanda asked. Kevin looked at his translation notes. "Because we're ready. We proved we can work together, that we can handle the unknown without destroying ourselves. We're ready to join something bigger." Dr. Nancy White pulled up her historical research. "Every advanced civilization probably goes through this test. The aliens aren't conquerors or explorers. They read ... teachers, guides. They watch developing species and wait for them to prove they're ready for contact." "Ready for what?" Amanda asked. "Ready to be part of a galactic community. Ready to learn from other species without trying to destroy them. Ready to contribute to something larger than just our own planet." Amanda looked around the room at her team, scientists from different countries working together to solve the greatest puzzle in human history. Maybe that was exactly what the aliens had wanted to see. "So what happens now?" she asked. Kevin pointed to the coordinates the aliens had left behind. "Now we build better ships and go meet them. We take the first step toward joining the galaxy. Amanda looked at the star charts on the screen. Somewhere out there, patient aliens were waiting for humanity to reach the stars. They had tested Earth and found it worthy. Now it was time for humans to prove they deserved that trust. How long will it take to build ships that can make the journey? She asked Jake. Jake studied the alien blueprints. With these plans? Maybe 5 years. Maybe less if every country works together. Then we better get started, Amanda said. We have a universe to explore. 3 months had passed since Dr. Amanda Clark and her team decoded the alien message. The world had changed in ways nobody could have imagined. The discovery that Earth had passed some kind of galactic test had transformed human civilization. Overnight, Amanda stood in the main control room of the new International Space Development Center. Through the large windows, she could see construction crews working on humanity's first true starship. The vessel was being built using the alien blueprints with materials and techniques that pushed human technology to its limits. How's the progress, Jake? She asked Captain Sullivan, who was now the project director for the starship construction. Jake looked up from his tablet, smiling. Better than expected. The alien designs are incredible. It's like they gave us a blueprint that's perfectly matched to our current technology level. We can build this ship with what we have, but it'll be far more advanced than anything we've ever made. Dr. Lisa Morgan walked over, carrying a stack of reports. The quantum drive is almost ready for testing. The alien instructions were so detailed that we barely had to figure anything out ourselves. It's like they wanted to make sure we could build it successfully. Any word from the other construction sites? Amanda asked. China finished their navigation systems yesterday, Lisa replied. Russia completed the life support modules last week. The Europeans are ahead of schedule on the communication array. Every country is contributing their best work. Dr. Kevin Roberts joined them, carrying his latest translation work. He had become the world's expert on alien communication, spending every day decoding new parts of their quantum message. I found something new in the message, Kevin said excitedly. It's not just instructions for building the ship. There are cultural guidelines, like a handbook for meeting other alien species. What kind of guidelines? Amanda asked. Kevin opened his notebook. Basic etiquette for galactic civilization. How to greet other species. What topics to avoid in conversation. Even what foods are considered safe to share between different worlds. Dr. Patricia Lai was working at a computer nearby, running simulations of the starship's quantum drive. The calculations are amazing, she called over. According to the alien math, this ship will be able to reach the coordinates they gave us in about 6 months of travel time. And those coordinates lead where? Amanda asked. A star system about 40 light years from Earth, Patricia replied. The aliens called it the meeting point in their message. It's apparently where new species are formally welcomed into the galactic community. President Hayes had created a new department of the government just to handle humanity's first contact. Preparations. Dr. Nancy White was now the director of interspecies relations, helping to prepare Earth for what would come after first contact. The psychological preparation is just as important as the technology, Nancy explained to the team. We're about to learn that Earth is just one small part of a vast galactic civilization. That's going to change how humans see themselves and their place in the universe. Amanda nodded. She had been thinking about the same thing. For thousands of years, humans had wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew they were part of something much bigger. Have we decided who's going on the first mission? She asked. Jake pulled up a list on his tablet. The crew will be small, just 12 people. Scientists, diplomats, a few military officers for security. The aliens were very clear that this should be a peaceful mission. Are you going? Amanda asked him. I'm the pilot, Jake grinned. Someone has to fly the ship. Dr. Roberts looked up from his notes. I'll be going too, as the communications specialist. And Dr. Lee will handle the scientific equipment. What about the rest of Earth? Amanda asked. What happens here while you're gone? Nancy answered, we keep preparing. The aliens made it clear that first contact is just the beginning. If we prove ourselves worthy during this meeting, they'll help us advance even faster. New technology, new knowledge, maybe even visits to other worlds. And if we don't prove ourselves worthy, then we go back to being alone, Kevin said quietly. The aliens won't hurt us, but they won't help us either. We'll be on our own again. Amanda walked to the window and looked out at the starship construction. Hundreds of people from dozens of countries were working together to build humanity's future. It was the largest peaceful cooperation project in human history. Dr. Clark, came a voice from behind her. She turned to see General Collins walking into the control room. He looked different now, less worried, more hopeful than she had ever seen him. General, Amanda greeted him. How are the final preparations going? Better than I dared hope, Collins replied. Every military on Earth is cooperating. We're sharing technology, resources, personnel. It's like the alien visit taught us that our differences don't matter when faced with something bigger than ourselves. Commander Helen Parker had returned from the space station and was now training the crew for the Starship mission. She joined their conversation, carrying a tablet with crew schedules. The team is ready, Helen reported. We've run every simulation possible. The crew knows the ship systems, the alien protocols, even basic phrases in what we think might be galactic standard language. How are they feeling about the mission? Amanda asked. Excited, nervous. Honored to represent humanity, Helen replied. They know this is the most important journey in human history. Dr. Roberts looked up from his translation work. The aliens included something interesting in their final message. They said we're not the first species they've tested. There are hundreds of civilizations in the galaxy, all at different levels of development. How many passed the test? Amanda asked. Most of them, eventually. The aliens are patient. They'll keep testing a species for thousands of years if necessary, waiting for them to mature enough for contact. And the ones that don't pass? Kevin's expression grew serious. They destroy themselves before they can reach the stars. War, environmental collapse, social breakdown. The test isn't just about technology. It's about wisdom. Amanda thought about the 3 days when the alien ships had hung over Earth. How easily it could have gone wrong. If countries had started fighting each other, if panic had led to violence, if fear had overcome cooperation. We almost failed, didn't we? She said. Maybe, Kevin replied, but we didn't. When faced with the unknown, humanity chose curiosity. Over fear, cooperation over conflict. That's what the aliens were looking for. 2 weeks later, the starship was complete. Amanda stood in the launch control center, surrounded by screens showing every system on the vessel. Representatives from every country on Earth were present, either in person or by video link. President Hayes stepped up to the microphone. Today, humanity takes its first step into a larger universe. The crew of the Starship Unity carries with them the hopes and dreams of every person on Earth. Amanda watched the launch countdown on the main screen. In a few minutes, 12 humans would begin a journey to meet alien civilizations. It seemed impossible, but here they were. 10 seconds to launch, came the announcement. Amanda thought about the morning 3 months ago when she had first seen the alien ships on her screen. She had been drinking coffee at her desk, thinking it would be just another boring day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. The Starship Unity disappeared in a flash of light as its quantum drive activated. In seconds, it was farther from Earth than any human had ever traveled. Jake Sullivan and his crew were now heading toward humanity's destiny among the stars. Around the world, people gathered to watch the launch on television and computer screens. Children who had been afraid when the alien ships arrived now looked up at the sky with wonder, knowing that humans were finally reaching for the stars. Dr. Morgan checked her instruments. Signal confirmed. Unity is on course and all systems are functioning perfectly. Amanda smiled. The alien blueprints had worked exactly as promised. Humanity's first starship was flying toward a meeting that would change everything. 6 months later, Amanda was back in the control room and the Unity sent its first message from the meeting point. Jake's voice came through the speakers, sounding amazed and humbled. Earth Control, this is Unity. We have arrived at the coordinates, and ... You're not going to believe what we found here. What do you see, Unity? Amanda asked. Ships, Dr. Clark, hundreds of them, from dozens of different worlds, all here to welcome humanity to the galactic community. We're not just meeting one alien species, we're meeting all of them. Amanda felt tears in her eyes. Humanity had passed the test. They were no longer alone. The alien representatives want to speak with Earth, Jake continued. They say they've been waiting a long time for us to join them. They're proud of how we handled their test. President Hayes took the microphone. Unity, tell our new friends that Earth is honored to meet them. We're ready to learn, to contribute, and to be part of something greater than ourselves. Amanda looked around the control room at scientists and diplomats from every nation on Earth, all working together to support humanity's first contact mission. Maybe that was the real test the aliens had given them, not whether humans could handle the unknown, but whether they could handle it together. The alien ships had vanished without a trace 3 months ago, but their impact would last forever. They had shown humanity that the universe